shadows crawl across the stars, illuminate fire, tearing worlds apart. Our cities burn, our children cry, but we will not surrender, we'll make them pay the price. Sound the alarm, prepare the fleet. The war for Super Earth will not see defeat. For Super
murder enthusiasts? That was Last Stand for Super Earth by Rising Rhythm, a tribute to our mother planet and all of her most splendid defenders. Something that I did want to mention here is one of the lyrics mentioning an unprovoked attack on our space, which, by this generation's perspective, it absolutely was. While the sins of our forefathers might have been egregious, that's an awful long time to hold a grudge, don't you think? Even if the Illuminate themselves were alive to remember what was said and done, we were not. The people who are alive now are guiltless, and I am not about to sit by and allow these mucky fluffers to behave however they want out of the hollow justification of blood attainder. Besides, it is not our forefathers who were pinning the Illuminate order to the wall and beating their faces in until it qualifies as a war crime. That's us. Don't steal our thunder. We know exactly what we did to you. Speaking of which, news from the Galactic Sphere. Alairt is making slow but steady progress with about 12% to show for the efforts for the day. Once again, the squids are dug in like Super Texas ticks, and this planet is sporting HP levels in the realm of 2.2 million. While our current timeline is set to have this planet liberated in 52 hours, the major order is due to expire in 36, so we're gonna have to hit those megacities all the harder. Doubly so awkward because the Free Eagle smoke High Command has been handing out just expired too, so there's likely to be some additional Leviathan-induced casualties in said operations. I'll level with you Helldivers. With over 1,400 operational hours under my belt, I have never deliberately taken a smoke stratagem. Not even once. I just never saw the use in them. Even when putting it into practice recently, the results were questionable. Now for some news from the business sphere. The Merc Divers had been incredibly active during this time and have moved on to Project Vulcan Phase 3. This contract is being extended by Future Foundations and Blackwall Incorporated, revolving around enhancing super security and the manufacture of prosthetic limbs for those who have sacrificed much of themselves for the preservation of our way of life. The meat and potatoes of this contract is fairly simple, Merc Canaries, you gun-toting yellow bird soldiers of fortune. That was a heck of a pun. You are to execute air-based sabotage, nursery nuking, or free colony missions, as well as retrieving valuable data and recon craft intel missions, though you will receive some credit for completing pretty much any mission with reward tables on screen currently. You will also receive some additional cash incentive for terminating illegal broadcasts, reactivating LiDAR stations, and the destruction of enemy outposts, with fortresses counting as 3 outposts. Furthermore, the most insane and or skilled among you can earn deathless bonuses by completing 3 mission operations without a single death. And we're gonna need to see some proof of that because that is a pretty impressive talent you've got there. I mean, I consider myself to be pretty darn good at my job and execute D10 operations regularly with a very low fail rate, but even to me, deathless missions are pretty rare. Deathless operations? That's one heck of a tall order, so I'll be making my profit by sheer number of missions completed versus deathless challenges done. Speaking of making cash, we have some good news from the stock market. Green across the board yet again. PMC Merc Divers never fails to make me smile with a 2% increase, slow but steady, and the K-Filling Corporation continues to knock it out of the park with 4%. Apparently, the stock market heard that Gunvolt had solved its various internal woes another 3% price increase, as is the same for the tank hunters. Blackwall's growth has been utterly insane with a 6% increase, and Future Foundations is doing pretty good too, racking up into the 5. Anvil Industries is doing very well these days at 4%, and last I heard, Venture Company was purchased by the Mercdivers PMC for 150 million super credits, so not only are they back on the boards and available for purchase once more, but their stock has risen an additional 3%. How did I acquire this information? Silly rabbit, haven't you heard? By the time the Ministry of Truth knows anything, the Angel knows everything. Gotta say, Mercdivers must be doing great these days. That is some darn fancy letterhead. Even Paul Allen himself would be hard-pressed to make a superior business document, watermark or not. Oh, I will say, I do believe his co-worker, Mr. Bateman, would probably prefer our line of work a little better. It suits him far more than that stuffy business environment where it's only a matter of time before his sanity snaps like a termited limb meeting a sledgehammer. Now, before I close the show out, I'd like to take a moment to speak on proper team play tactics. Earlier today, I had fallen victim to foul Illuminate trickery, specifically stingrays. One had destroyed my fist unit, and I was separated from my headshots-only missile launcher, the Spear, which could slay it easily, and it was then that I noticed the rest of my team was getting repeatedly killed by the same stingray, but no one was doing anything about it. They figured that as long as it was attacking someone who wasn't them, it wasn't their problem. Well, issues like that have a nasty habit of becoming your problem, and that itself is a nasty habit to have. Ignoring problems that are affecting someone else at the time, that is. In the context of this mission, my team barely managed to extract with the fully depleted reinforcement budget and one diver on the Pelican, and it was mostly because of that one stingray that was allowed to operate totally unimpeded. There is a delicate balance to achieve here. Don't get mired in pointless fights that serve no purpose. But if you see one of your fellow divers in trouble, it helps you to help them. Every casualty slows the mission down with the reinforcing diver needing to recollect his support weapons and his other gear, provided they can even recover them at all. If they can't, they'll be operating at subpar efficiency. And while that might be fine and dandy on lower difficulty levels, having a well-armed team working together can often mean the difference between operational success on higher difficulties and painful, agonizing failure and a complete waste of time. The TLDR version of this is thus: watch your team's backs and don't ignore problems, especially if they are problems you can't easily get away from, like a stingray. Seriously, those mucky fluffers never give up. There's a reason why relatively few of us go on solo ops. We are meant to work together. I will also admit that I got a bit heated during this exchange and might not have braced myself to this group of divers as well as I should have. Despite what the Ministry of Truth says, there is no harm in taking a break. If you feel yourself getting hot under the collar and performing badly, chances are that it's not the dive. It's you. Step away, get a drink of water, maybe grab a quick workout, just a few minutes to get your head back in the game. The Illuminate are always bringing their best. No reason we shouldn't either. That's been Liberty's Latest with me, Pandera, the Radio Angel. We should be reaching the outskirts of Free Trade Megacity in another few hours of liberating, which means that we'll be swapping tactics from Illuminate blob gardening to Leviathan dodging. We'll get this done, and then you guys can take another win back to the Ministry of Defense to look like your awesome selves as usual. Be sure and tell General Sirius that I said hi. For liberty, for freedom, for democracy, and for the Angelic Rebellion. Viva la Revolution Angelique.